And that's spray paint that wouldn't come off. My dumb ass didn't put gloves on before I spray painted some shelves. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight we're taking a look at the Marvel Manga Realization Deadpool. I'm sorry if I butchered that. But that's to say, it's essentially Deadpool in samurai armor from a different era. Stay up, box. It's not really toy packaging, I guess you could say. Yes, there's toys that just come in boxes, but I'm used to, you know, windows and clear and see the figure in the package and such. There is nice graphics on the box itself. It just feels a little bit plain. It does feel sturdy, I say, as we look at the damage from shipping. On the back, the pretty promotional shots, you can see what the figure can do, what the figure comes with, the different eye options. Down here, the warnings, the unreadables, probably says something like, even in a different age, Deadpool kicked ass. And you guys have let me know how much you love me just bouncing around the X-Acto knife. Here comes the blade. You've got tape on both sides, just holding it shut. And I feel like I should mention, this is actually the Bluefin release. This was imported in. It's not bootleg, I guarantee it. You get the box open, you have the table of contents. Table of contents? What is this, a book? You have the set contents, a whole bunch of unreadables. On the back, you have instructions for putting the hands on the wrist peg, gun in hand, sword in hand, eyes in head. Ooh, different options for the back. Does all this stuff go? Oh, okay, there's holsters. There's back scabbards. Nothing. And then you have the figure itself sealed in its little bubble. And there we go, all out of the package. And I have to say, I really dig this concept, but it's a little bit frustrating in its execution. But right off the bat, the sculpting is freaking amazing. Every little color change, every little bit and bob, every piece, it has its own little personality due to the sculpt. You have some flatness here, but the line between the black and the red, it's sculpted in. But on things like the shoulder pads, the forearm gauntlets, the little hangy down side things on the legs, just look at the texture on that damn thing. It's the same for the cloth bits. There's a texture to that. Goes side to side. It differentiates it from the armor pieces. Look at the geometric pattern right there around the top of the shin guard. Same on the back, you have this butt armor piece. Down here on the legs, you think, oh wait, this is black, but there is a seam line between the red and the black on the pants. You also have little Deadpool symbols hidden throughout the figure. There's his belt buckle, which is the easiest to find. You have the back of the hand armor, you have the back of the shoe, and okay, that's about it, at least as far as I've seen so far. But there's also the paint on the body, all done really well. The color separations are nice. I love the addition of the purple to the overall color scheme. Now down here, it does get a little bit messy, especially on these decorations on the front, these little flowers or bolts or whatever they are. The purple doesn't really reach down where it's supposed to, and it's a little messy on the piping, but overall you don't really notice it. And yes, I love the purple addition to the traditional red and black. We're talking about samurai armor here, but for some reason my favorite addition is the green right here, tying the chest armor to the shoulders. I don't know, it just sticks out, but in a good way, because there's also browns here, brown here, and then down on the toe there's some silver, but it's that green that does it for me. And then you get up to the head, it's Deadpool. You got the black around the white eyes, red helmet. I think it's all helmet. There's an asymmetrical sense to it where it curves up and around and then comes to Deadpool's little top piece of material that usually sticks off the top of his mask. They did that in helmet form here. He's got the cloth at the neck with the black strap. That same awesome sculpt to the here. It's got the little ties, the little X's. Slight wash to it, and then again, the purple seam to the black. It just fits in overall. I love the whole piece. But like I said, there is a frustration level. Because of these shoulder pads being on ball joints, you get moving around and they tend to pop off. Now, it is a good thing that they just pop off instead of breaking off, I guess. And you can also move that pin up and down on the shoulder to stick it pretty much wherever you want, and it just pops back on. Not a big deal. It's just you get to there and it likes to fall off. What I started doing with the poses is getting it to where I want it and then popping the armor on. It's even worse at the hips because your natural instinct is to grab the figure around the waist. You get the hips moving around, it tends to pop those off too. Again, I've been posing the legs, then I'll come back, and put the hip armor back on where it needs to go. With the Stormtrooper, I would take the torso too far in the articulation department and it would tend to pop off. I don't have that problem here, but I don't really like this floating ab piece. Mostly because of OCD. I want those black lines to line up, and the only place you have to hold that is to push on the front, and it doesn't tend to move with the top. That may just be me. Most of the time you may have it crunched, it's hidden, it's not even visible. But I do have that problem with the neck. Go too far forward and it tends to pop off. Look at the length of the neck. The ball is down in the torso. But again, pops right on. It's not loose. It's just, you know, a fulcrum issue. Now for articulation, we're going to take this off, and we're going to take this off, and we're going to take this one off, and we'll take that off. There's a ball joint up at the top of the neck. There's a ball joint down at the bottom of the neck. Together, you can bury his chin. You can look up pretty good, even with this back helmet on. A little bit of tilt, a little bit of tilt, swivel. There's a ball going into the torso, long peg coming out to the shoulder. It's got a cap in there to hide the articulation. But you can raise up, you can come down, forward, back, raises up about that far, swivels around. Swivel hinge swivel at the elbow comes up about 90. Not that great. And I understand wanting to keep the overall aesthetic, but a double elbow doesn't break that much. That also swivels there. Swivel hinge swivel at the wrist. You can go side to side, swivels, or you can make it go up and down. Ball joint in the torso. Like I said, floating abs. You can crunch forward. Not a lot of arc back. Some tilt. Some tilt. Crotch cover is part of the belt, so it gets up and out of the way. You have a ball joint coming out to the hip into a... Well, there you go. That pops right back onto the ball. You can bring the leg forward about that far, back, out. You swivel on that ball. Have a double knee, comes up this far. And they did that while maintaining the texture of the pants down through the knee. Why couldn't they do that here at the shoulder? The elbow. Have a swivel hinge swivel at the ankle with a floating piece to kind of cover that up, but it does get in the way. You go back that far, you come forward, a little bit of tilt, then you have a toe joint that comes up to about right there. It gets stuck on the sandal sculpt. For accessories, he comes with 2 fists, he comes with 2 pistol gripping hands, and he comes with 2 sword gripping hands. And honestly, they aren't that different. Here's your sword gripping hand, and here's your pistol gripping hand. It's just an open grip, and the trigger finger isn't a separate finger, it's just out a little bit more. Switch those out, this just pops off. It's a little bit tight, and getting the other ones on, kind of finesse it and get it all the way on there. There you go. Comes with 2 flint locks. I guess these are flint locks. I don't know a lot of guns. I just know these are old style looking. Little bit tough to get in the hand. These aren't the softest hands. They're also thick, so you got to pick the narrowest point. Or take the hand completely off the figure. Get it on the grip, and the hole is sculpted to have that kind of downward stance to make the pistol look good on the hand. So he can point it out straight or however you want it. One thing that I do notice right here, the hands have kind of a darker black wash than the rest of the body, so it kind of sticks out whenever you have them together. Go ahead. Make my feudal era. Along with that, there are straps right here to holster the guns. Gun only fits in it one way, but thankfully they are on a swivel. So if you turn it around, you can get it in there. Tight fit. You got to kind of get it past the stuck point. But once you get it on there, it looks fine. I hate adding a little bit extra weight to this though, because of that. And then he comes with 2 swords. Nice wrap. Has kind of a gray wash to it to bring out the detail, but then the blade is like just a metallic silver. They both also come with scabbards and these separate pieces to attach the scabbards to his back. The swords are smooth to go in the scabbard, not loose enough to fall out though. And those attach with a ball joint. They just plug into the back. And because of that ball joint, you can set it to, you know, either here or you can cross them, however you want to do the back. And then finally, there are the interchangeable eye pieces. He has the standard, just mean looking eyes. He has some nap time eyes. He has some demon rage eyes. I don't know exactly what this is, but they look cool. And then he has the usual heart eyes. Now to switch it out, this is way easier than some of the other figures we've seen with this feature. Because of how the helmet is sculpted, there's a big gap right here. So you just push on the top, and it comes out of 2 pegs on the back. The weird thing about it, they did put an eye sculpt under there. I kind of wish they had put skin tone and actual eyes there like a dude is wearing the helmet, and then you just peg in the other eyes. Unlike some of the other companies, they didn't include a little tray or anything to store the eyes when you're not using them. So that kind of sucks, especially since you have the ability to store all the weapons on the back, in the holster. Well, no, when you have the armor on, in the holsters. Putting the armor back on, you'll see they are marked. So right goes on right, left goes on left. His left, not your left. For comparison, here he is with the movie Realization Stormtrooper I have. I'm not sure which one this is. I just know it's a Stormtrooper. It's two of my favorite things, and they go great together. If you're thinking about slipping him into a Marvel Legends display, though, because it's Deadpool, he does crazy shit like this. It is a bigger scale with this line. It's more of a 7-inch. It'll go better with other movie lines like from NECA or really the other Manga Realization, movie realization stuff. So at the end of the day, I love this thing. Well, it's Deadpool, it's samurai armor, I was predisposed to like this thing. Yes, the frustration levels kind of get to me when you're posing around, but once it's on the shelf, once you have that pose, Now, it's also not in my usual scale, but for Deadpool, for Star Wars, I make exceptions when it comes to those two. The bad thing about this is now I have this Deadpool, now I have this one Stormtrooper. I need more Star Wars stuff. I need the Darth Vader, I need the Jango, I need the Boba, I need more Stormtroopers, I need the Captain America, I need the Spider-Man. Where am I going to find room for all this stuff? Where am I going to find the money for all this stuff? My only huge nitpick is they make everybody in the samurai armor. With Spider-Man, I would have kind of liked to have seen a ninja gi. Change things up a little bit. It's all armor. It's like they're all in the same club. But really, I'm good with it. That's what they set out to do. It still looks kick-ass. I can't complain too much. This is available from Bluefin right now. In fact, Amazon has it for $65. Link is down in the description if you want to run over there, pick it up. It's a little bit cheaper than what we see with this line usually. And yeah, I guess I'm going to need more of these. Damn it. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.